There can be only one, McLeod. This is Caleb Jones, and this is Alpha Male 2.0, freedom, focus, lifestyle design for men. Location-independent income through your own location-independent laptop-based business. Being free in terms of your finances and in terms of your mobility. Dating multiple attractive women. That means not zero and not one, but two or more. Attractive women long-term without any lying, cheating, or drama. The freest lifestyle a man can possibly live, available to the normal modern-day man in the collapsing era in which we live. I have a lot to share to you, to share with you. I think I went to kindergarten. I think I can speak basic English. What's going on tonight? I don't even drink coffee. What's going on? Share with you tonight. I have slides to show you. I have a lot of them, actually. Let me make sure everything's looking good over here. It's interesting. I was talking to someone about 2 hours ago. A man who's worth over $250 million. Self-made guy. And talking about my businesses. And I rattled through all my different companies. All different projects I'm working on. I'm working on this company in cardiology. I'm working on Unchained CEO, and I'm working on this, and I'm working on a thing called Alpha Male 2. I work on this. And at the end, he said, Caleb, do you realize when you talk about Alpha Male, this Alpha Male 2.0 thing, your whole voice changes and you get much more excited? He's like, that's what you should be doing. I said, I am. He said, good. I have big plans. Big plans? Why can I talk today? What's going on? I have big plans. Talk about those in a few weeks, maybe. But, geez, I don't know why I can't talk today. Where's my water? Oh, man, it's way over there. Fuck, I forgot to bring water. Well, maybe halfway into this podcast, I will pause this and go get my water if I need it. By the way, this is a podcast. So if you are interested in listening to the audio version of this, you can go to alphamale20.com/podcast. I'm on. I can't talk. What the fuck? I am on. Maybe I should just speak more slowly. Am I really excited? I don't know what's going on. Am I super horny? I had sex today. I don't know what's going on. Hang on. Let me adjust my headset, my headrest. All right. Let's start all over. I am on the top 10 or 12 podcast platforms. There is a new site over at calebjones.com, the new Unchained CEO blog, and all the blog posts from calebjones.com, the Unchained and Sovereign CEO blog, and the Sublime Your Time blog are at calebjones.com. You can check those out. The new Alpha 2.0 site, which will look like the current Caleb Jones site, is going to be up in probably another week or so. There's a lot more content in the Alpha Male 2.0 site than the Caleb Jones site. So that's coming soon. Still fasting. Yes, I'm still fasting. I'm not fasting today, though. Not fasting today. Today didn't work out. It's been an odd week for me in terms of my schedule. What else want to say before I get started? Can you guys see me? Whoops. Hang on a sec. Just clicking buttons here. Hang on. I got to adjust my screens. This is all fucked up. Should you hook up with an MLTR sister or too much drama? FB sisters are okay. MLTR, you don't want to do that unless you do it with her cooperation. With her cooperation, go right ahead. Or after you're done seeing her. I've been with several sisters. Well, no, that's not true. Have I been with more than one sister couple? No, I've been with more mother-daughter couples, but I've only been with two sisters. But they were, when it happened, one was an MLTR, then became an FB. When it happened, they were FB, so it was okay. So no, I wouldn't do that. What was I going to mention before we get started to the big topic today? I have a very big topic today. We're going to talk about today is the core of Alpha Male 2.0, which means the core of long-term masculine happiness, which I'll describe in detail in a second. There was a funny story I was going to tell you, and I don't think I can fucking remember. What's going on with me today? I don't get it. Weird. All right. Rocking the new hairstyle. Yeah, it's a little, I'm growing it out. Some of this is, again, a lot of this is fake. I have fake hair and I have real hair. It's all mixed together. So yeah, it's just more poofy. I have to get my hair all ready to go before I leave Dubai for 4 months. So I'm in Dubai now. I was supposed to be in Kazakhstan today. Had to postpone that because of some banking stuff going on here in Dubai I need to be in town for. The banker's like, are you going to be in town for the next 7 days? I'm like, I mean, I can. He's like, well, then if you don't, then we have to do it. I'm like, oh, fuck, all right, I'll postpone it. So next week, hopefully, I'll be in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, come back, and then I will be in the UK. We are doing a London event in June. I'm doing a London seminar and a London mastermind. So you go to Caleb, let's see, where can you go? CalebJones.com/events. For you guys in London or you guys in Europe, the first thing I've done in London in a long time. And then I will be in the United States for about 3 weeks. And then I'll be in Paraguay for 3 months. And I will get a permanent year-round apartment down there in Paraguay. I will set up some corporations down there. I'm really setting up a life down there for myself. I'm going to start spending more time in Paraguay. This year it'll be 3 months. Fuck, dude. Next year it'll be 4 months, and I'll increase it to about 5 months a year. So I'll be in Dubai 7 months a year, Paraguay 5 to 4 months a year, and then 1 month travel. That's kind of the new schedule. So eating has slowed you down. Probably, man. Yeah, probably. Are you still the same guy? Yeah, you are. All right. All right. That's it. Let's get to today's topic. Hang on a sec. Can you guys see the Alpha Male 2.0 slide on your screen? And again, if you're listening to the podcast version, don't worry. I will verbalize everything on the slides. Can you guys see that? Let me know in the chat. You can definitely see the Alpha 2.0 slide on the screen in addition to me looking very little. I see one yes. Can I get one? Oh, yes. I see plenty of yeses. Okay. I always remember there's a delay. Cool. All right. Let me go through this. And I will answer. As I go through these slides, I will not be able to see you guys in the chat until the end. I'll occasionally pop over and check. But if you have questions on each item, no worries. I'll answer your questions at the end if we have enough time. There's a lot to cover today. Okay. All right. Today, I'm going to cover the 13 standards of Alpha Male 2.0 of an Alpha Male 2.0 life, which is based in long-term, consistent, masculine happiness. So let's start there. So as I've talked about many times before, most men, not 100% of all men, there are always exceptions to every rule, and the exception proves the rule. I love these people on the internet who point out the exception to the rule as if they made a point. If I say most Chinese men are shorter than most Western white men, and some guy says, I know a Chinese guy who's 6'3", you're a fucking idiot. Okay, you don't realize how stupid you sound when you use the exception to the rule as the basis of your argument. So the vast majority of men, with a few exceptions, are happy to the degree to which they are free. So as their freedom increases, their happiness also tends to increase. If their freedom decreases, then over time their happiness will tend to decrease. So the goal then is to jack your freedom up as high as you possibly can and then nail it there forever so that you are always free, so that you will always be long-term happy. What most men do, well, there's actually two categories. Most men never get to the point of freedom. They're always monogamous to somebody. They always have a 9-to-5 job. They never have their own business, and they're fucked. So they're never long-term happy. They have moments of happiness, but they can't experience consistent happiness that we Alpha Male 2.0s can. Some men do achieve a level of freedom, and they're not monogamous. They have their own businesses, and then usually around age 35, they have some sort of midlife crisis, and they go, "Is that all there is? Just having sex with girls? I want more in life." Blah, blah. And then they get super religious, talk about dropping your freedom, or they get monogamous for one girl who is not like the rest, or they do something stupid in their business, and then their freedom drops, and for a while they're happy, and then they're pissed off. So we don't want to do that. So Alpha Male 2.0 is all about making your freedom as high as you possibly can so that your happiness is as high as possible. Now, that means one thing. Actually, I'll talk about that in a second. Hang on, let me check the technology here one quick here. Okay. Hang on. The way you do this in the modern era, and I've talked about this before, this is just a quick overview before I get to the 13 items. The two baselines of your long-term happiness as a man, women are different, but as a man, are money and sex. You need a regular amount every month of money and sex. And if you don't have a regular incoming amount of money and sex every month, you will not be as happy as you can, even if all the other areas of your life, which I call the SLA, the 7 life areas, are perfect. So even if you are ripped and healthy and muscular and have six-pack abs, and you have a wonderful spiritual life, and you have a wonderful family life, and you have lots of really close friends, if you're not getting laid often and or you're not making any goddamn money and you're constantly having financial problems, you will not be happy despite those other areas of your life being good. So your goal then is to construct a lifestyle where you're getting a regular amount of sex and money every month, in a way where these things are conducive to freedom, which creates happiness. Now, here's the trick. There are ways of getting sex without freedom. For example, if you are monogamous and you live with your monogamous wife or girlfriend, you might be getting sex. Maybe if the relationship is new, the relationship old, you're not. But okay, fine, I'll be nice. You might be getting some sex. But are you getting a lot of freedom? No. That little drill sergeant's going to stamp her little footy and tell you what to do, and you're going to do it. Are you allowed to go, have sex with whomever you want? No, she'll lose her fucking mind, and you'll go, oh, shit, I'm sorry. So that's not going to work. So there's ways to get sex that are conducive to freedom and ways that are not. Same thing with money. I've talked about this. There are men who make, $1 million a year, but it's a salary from a company. They have a job. They got to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week at a job. So you're making money, but are you free? No. There are men who own businesses, location-dependent, high-stress, low-margin businesses, like guys who own restaurants, and they make some money. Are they free? No, they are not free. So not only do you need sex and money, you need sex and money in a way that is conducive to long-term freedom so that you can be happy. Make sense? Now, one key point about this. There is a percentage of you, and I know you're out there because I get your comments and I know who you guys like, who think happiness is not important. If you worship people like Jordan Peterson, people like Andrew Tate, and many others I could name, I'm picking on those two guys, but there's lots of people. You might get the messaging because these guys say it, that happiness is frivolous, happiness is immature, happiness is immoral, happiness is for women. All these things have been said about happiness, and you're convinced that happiness is not your priority, then none of this I'm about to talk about is going to resonate with you. Some of it will. You'll do some of these 13 things. A lot of us like, oh, I would never do that because blah, 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 blah. If you don't want to be long-term happy, I'm not the guy for you. Go watch Andrew Tate and go be mad the rest of your life. Go watch Jordan Peterson, one of the most angriest people on Twitter. Go watch those guys and then do what they do, and you can emulate what they do maybe. But you're not going to be long-term happy because these men are not long-term happy. But if you want to be happy, Alpha Male 2.0, we're the happy alphas. You want to be happy? I'm your guy. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Cool. And by the way, if you think happiness is bullshit or frivolous or not, I don't know about that. That's fine. I am a minarchist libertarian and I believe in natural law. I'm an individualist. You should go do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. I'm also something called outcome independent, which means I really don't care what you do. Go be unhappy. That's fine. Most people I know are chronically unhappy. Certainly most Americans and Westerners I know. In Dubai, a lot more happy people. And Paraguay, a lot more happy people. But in America, all right. Hang on a second here. Double checking this. Okay. One more thing to remember before we get into this, and this is always often pointed out, is that Alpha Male 2.0 is only for approximately 10% of men. I teach in my business content, which 50% of Alpha Male 2.0 is business content. I teach that when you start a business, you should niche, narrow niche. Don't try to help everyone in the world. That won't work in the modern era. You can do that in 50s, can't do that today. It's a narrow niche. Alpha Male 2.0 is a niche. It's a certain type of men. Most men are not going to do these things. And that's okay. I've been saying this for 15 years since the dawn of Alpha Male 2.0 way back around 2000, between 2009, 2007, 2014, somewhere in there. And I've been saying this forever. And to this day, I still get comments on my blogs and, social media saying, this is a good idea, but not every guy is going to do this. Yes, thank you. I've said that myself only about 10,000 times. This is not for every guy. There's certain types of men who will not do these things. They might do some of these things, or they won't do any of them. So most men are just going to go down with the ship when the Western world collapses and or when the AI takes over and, radically alters the landscape of our economic life. Most men are fucked. And it took me years to emotionally accept that, and now I've accepted it. Most men are just fucked. You can tell guys, Trump's not going to save you. And they go, yeah. And then when the next election goes, yeah, they go, Trump, yeah. Same thing with woke guys. Same thing with very religious guys. There's no helping some of these guys, most of these guys. So you may not be in that 10%, and that's fine. If you're just watching my content because you think I'm funny or entertaining or thought-provoking, but you're never going to do what I'm talking about, again, I don't care. I'm good to go financially. I don't need you. But those of you who are the 10% or want to be in that 10%, you have the opportunity to do so. Cool? So who are the types of men who are not going to do these things? Well, there's a few. Number one, top list, pussies. Big pussies. I can't have sex with other women. My girlfriend might get mad at me. My wife might divorce me. Here's a big one. What would my mom say? What would my grandma say? There's guys in their 30s and 40s in my audience who won't do these things because they're scared about what their mommy will say. That means you're a big pussy. So if you're a big pussy, you're not going to do most of this stuff or any of this stuff. And that's fine. If you've made the decision, I've written entire articles about this. If you've made the conscious decision to be a pussy, to be a beta male, I have people in my life, men I know in my life, some of them in my family who I love very much. They've made the conscious choice to be betas. Great. You'll never be happy long term. Okay, it's your life. Again, I don't care what you do. You do whatever you want. You do you, pussy. That's fine. But if you want to be a pussy, grab your saying. If you're a pussy, you're not going to do any of these things. Culture warriors. Those of you who's, when I talk about leaving the collapsing Western world, getting the fuck out of the United States, getting the fuck out of Australia, getting the fuck out of the UK, Canada, and you guys say, well, I got to stand and fight the woke people. I got to stand and fight the feminists. You guys are probably not going to do this stuff because your focus is not happiness. Your focus is being at war and conflict. So hardcore culture warriors are probably not going to do these things. And again, if that's you, great. Next one is, angry guys, alpha male 1.0s, guys with big temper tantrums, guys who like to be mad. As Joe Rogan has said, it's fun to be mad. If you think it's fun to be mad, you probably love Twitter. Great. You're probably not going to do this stuff. And that's fine. And some of you are alphas and some of you are betas. And great. You're not going to do this. Your focus is not happiness. Your focus is expressing your feelings and making people obey your authority. Next one, of course, is incels. If you're an angry guy in his basement, you haven't had sex in 2 years because you think women are evil and the only guys who can get laid are guys with Lamborghinis and six-pack abs, both of which I have neither of those things, by the way. I'm overweight. I don't own a car. If that's what you believe, great. You'll never be happy ever, and you're probably never going to take action to make your life any better. I've said the problem with the term incel is that it stands for involuntarily celibate. It's false. It's not involuntary. It's not. Incels are choosing to be incels. You don't have to do this. Oh, pickup stuff is a scam, and all these guys teach you they're all full of shit. Okay. Well, I'm living proof that pickup artist stuff does work. I started out as a divorced beta male dad in his mid-20s, with very little woman experience, and I went to guru level stuff by copying what pickup artist guys were doing. Now, a lot of that stuff is a scam. Some of it is stupid, but it does work. But again, if you're a committed incel, have fun being upset for the rest of your life. That's fine. Very religious guys, traditional conservatives, tradcons. If you are a hardcore Christian, and there are many of you in my audience, or if you're a hardcore Muslim, there are many of you in my audience. Wonderful. You will never be long-term happy. Oh, I can't do that. That's against the Bible, and the Bible can't be wrong. Hey, the Quran says this, so I can't. Great. If you want to follow your religion, a book that was written 2,000 years ago, edited hundreds of times, that's fine. You go right ahead and believe in things you have no scientific basis for. That's cool. You're probably not going to do a lot of these things. You might do some of them, but you won't do a lot of them. All right, so that covers those guys who probably won't resonate with this material. If that's you, lots of love. Cool. If you are none of those categories, or if you're in those categories but you want to get the fuck out of those categories, this is how you do it. Hang on one second here. Every once in a while, I got to check. All right. The 13 standards. These are life standards you adopt as an alpha male 2.0, and all 13 of these standards will all help you achieve maximum freedom, therefore maximum long-term happiness, even if it might conflict with what mommy and daddy wants or what the Bible and the Quran says, or being a good Republican or a good left-winger or a good whatever. We'll address those directly in a few minutes. All right. Number one, by the way, let me go back here. These are all equally important. They're numbered, but they're all equally important. It's not like number one is the most important one. They're all equally important. Number one, always be working toward one or two big goals that excite you. The reason most men are depressed and aimless today is because they're not doing anything. They're reading stuff. They're seeing stuff on the internet. They're saying, I wish I could have a Lamborghini. They're doing that, but that's not working on one or two big goals that excite you. They're not moving forward. They're just thinking about shit and stressing out and being pissed off about politics and then watching Netflix and smoking weed and playing video games. They're not working towards anything. And since I was 18 years old and I left my mommy and daddy at age 18, I have spent my entire life, I'm in my early 50s now, working towards something. I'm always working toward an objective. Men are happiness when we're working towards something, a worthy ideal. You'll be happier if you have something you're going towards. Even if you fail a lot, and as I've talked about many times, I fail all the fucking time. But I also win a lot too. By the way, you focus on one or two. Now, there's the opposite side of the spectrum, and I've talked to these guys before. Use these young, excited guys. And they go, Caleb, I want to build my location-dependent alpha tupital business, and I want to make $200,000 a year, and I want to date 5 different girls at the same time, and I want to get down to 8% body fat, and I want to get a black belt in my karate, and I'm in college. I want a 3.8 GPA. And, okay, way too many fucking things. One or two, the rule of two I talk about, maximum 1 or 2 areas of improvement at once. If you have 17 different things you want to improve, and that's okay if you do, I do, you put the list somewhere else on a spreadsheet, you pick your top 2, you work on those. You put the rest on temporary pause, put the rest on maintenance mode. When you achieve objectives in one of those 2 areas, then you pull something else from the big list and you change it up. This is how I make it work. Really good book on this is called Zen Habits by Leo Babauta. He accomplished some great things in his life, only focusing on 2 things at a time. So not 0, not 47, 1 or 2. Cool? Cool. Number 2. Formulate a personal mission. I use that with a capital M that really turns you on. Now, this is only for men over the age of 29. So if you're under the age of 30, you can skip this one for now, but it's coming. If you are 30 years old or over, you need to sit down and formulate a mission. I talk about that in my books. The Unchained Man, I talk about this in my blogs. You need something. It is a greater meaning for your life beyond, I want to make a lot of money, or I got to pay my bills. I want to have sex with hot chicks. These things are fine when you're 22. Are they fine when you're 32, 42, 52, 62? No, you need greater meaning beyond just sex and pussy or losing weight or getting ripped. Why do you want these things? What's the greater meaning of your life? If you won the lottery, you won $100 million tax-free in the lottery, and then 2 years after that, because the first year or 2, you're going to go party and buy a boat and bang hookers and travel the world. And okay, that's fun for about 6 months, a year. Then what do you do for the rest of your life? You're 35 years old. What are you going to do for the rest of your life? You go, I don't know. That's a problem. You sit down and figure that out. And I have techniques on how to do that in my books. By the way, people like Jordan Peterson, who says happiness isn't important. What does he say? He goes, you don't want to focus on happiness. You want to focus on meaning. Dumb fuck. You focus on meaning so that you can be happy. Okay. I'm not a hedonist. I know some of you are. I'm not. I don't just focus on happiness. I focus on meaning. I have a very deep mission that's very important to me. Goals from my meaning so that I can be happy. Both meaning and happiness, not just meaning, which is what people like Jordan Peterson say. So you have all this meaning and then you're on Twitter all day screaming at people because you're pissed off all the time and you're furious about where your country's going. I don't have any of these problems because I'm happy. Okay. I might need to pause to get my water. We'll see how full I got. I'm yelling a lot, aren't I? I'm getting phatic. I talk about this shit. All right. Standard number 3. Constant outcome independence in all areas of your life at all times. I'm about to kick your ass because a lot of you are fucking this up. Calm the fuck down and stop giving a shit. Of these 13 standards, this is one of maybe 2 or 3 that most of you are having the most problem with. We live in a epidemic today of outcome dependence. You guys are worried or pissed off about every little thing, or 1 or 2 little things that don't fucking matter. A lot of you, if Donald Trump loses this election coming up in November, are going to be fucking furious for no goddamn reason. If you support Biden, you're going to be fucking furious if Trump is president for no goddamn reason because you're outcome dependent. You've got to stop giving a fuck about these macro things you have no control over. When the pandemic hit, this is one of the most depressing parts of my entire career in this alpha tupital business. I did a whole video on this about a year or two ago. You can watch that video. I said on my blogs, this cerveza sickness is no big deal. We're not going to have hundreds of million people. You guys are freaking out over nothing. And a lot of you in my audience freak the fuck out. Caleb, you're horrible. Oh my God, we're all going to die. We're hundreds of millions. And that was just you hysterical people. You Trump supporters like, I'm not wearing a fucking mask. I'll breathe my own carbon dioxide. And if I take a vaccine, my dick won't work. You guys, many of you, not all of you, are so outcome dependent. It is completely fucking up your life. I'll give you numerous examples. What happened about last year is that I said something on a podcast. I have hundreds of podcasts over the past fucking 14 years. Several years ago on a podcast, I made a comment about how black guys are emotional. And a few black guys heard that, and some guy posted on a forum, and I had 2 or 3 black guys email me saying, oh, you're fucking racist. I said, are you being outcome independent right now? These are guys who read my book. Are you being outcome independent? How about when I talk about when I said white people are dorks and they're not cool? How about when I said Asians are nerds? How about when I said Indian people are dysfunctional? Were you freaking out about that? No. Are you being outcome independent right now? You guys got to stop giving a fuck, because many of you will be set off by 3 or 4 words someone will say on the internet. You're outcome dependent. You will never, ever be happy. Again, if you don't care about being happy, if you want to be screaming and mad the rest of your life and say, well, I need to tell people how I feel, God damn it. Great. I'm not the guy for you. Go watch Andrew Tate. Go watch Jordan Peterson. Go watch Jesse Lee Peterson. Go read the Bible. Do something else, because these things will make you really mad and make you really worked up on how horrible the world is. God damn, you guys. Take a deep breath. Relax. Give a shit about the macro picture of your entire life, your entire future. Give a shit about that. Not about who wins an election or the recent news. Now, by the way, outcome dependence works the other way. We are too excited about shit. I've talked about many times. You Trump idiots were so excited in 2017. Oh my God, America's saved now, Caleb. Everything's fine. And I said, no, it's not. You're fucked. You should see the number of emails I got when the Canadian trucker, Caleb, the Canadian trucker protest. Isn't this great? No, it won't make a goddamn bit of difference. You should be excited about this. Please, for the love of God, if you want to be happy, you've got to learn to arrest this. Ask yourself, why do I care? Why do I give a shit about this? Why are these little things so important to me? Why am I so reactive all the time? Stop giving a fuck. Stoicism. Read up on Stoicism if you have to, okay? Alpha Male 2.0 and Stoicism are very similar, okay? It's a problem with a lot of you. It's unfortunate. All right. Next one. Standard number 4. You need to make at least $85,000 per year in USD equivalent. That, to be specific, say, well, that before or after taxes, is that net profit, gross revenue? Okay. If you have your own business, that is net profit. That's your profit you take home before taxes, $85,000 a year. Why is that? I've talked about this many times. Numerous happiness studies have been done all over the world that show that you will be happier making at least $85,000 a year than if you make less. That's about $7,000 USD a month. Odds are that's going to make you more happy. And the beauty about $85,000 a year is you don't have to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, get $85,000 a year. You don't, not even close to that. It's an achievable goal by any of you. And I know there's some of you who say, that's it, that's all. Great, make more. I'll talk about that in a second. I know there's some of you who go, $7,000 a month? There's no fucking way I could. Yes, you can. I personally work with many people who said, there's no way I could. And now they do. And now they make 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. Now, one thing about that, more is better. Some people seem to think that that's a maximum. That is a minimum. That's a minimum. With inflation going the way it's going, you might want to make more than that. If you want to make more than 85,000, I make many multiples of 85,000 a year. Please do that. Go for it. If you don't want to, that's fine, but 85,000 is your minimum. What was I going to say about that? There's something else. Can I remember this? I don't remember. Oh, I had a really good point about that too. Shit, what was it? 85,000 a year. Oh, I really shouldn't talk about that. I have my own personal Caleb opinions that are separate from Alpha Male 2.0. Alpha male 2.0 standard is 85,000 a year. Okay. My personal opinion, this is just my opinion, not alpha male 2.0. This is Caleb's personal opinion. Should be 300,000 a year. 300,000 a year is around what, 20,000 a month? No, 33,000 a month, something like that. You guys can double check my math. 33, yeah, that's about right. 33,000. Anyway, you're making 25,000 a month. You're making $25,000 a month. You're happy. You're happy. You're making $25,000 a month before taxes. You think you might be happy with that income? Oh yeah. I remember when I hit that threshold myself, I'm like, whoa, this is good. When I hit 20,000, 22,000, when I hit 25,000, I'm like, man, I can buy whatever I want. That's fucking great. I remember that. You'll feel really good. Now, if you don't want to make that much money, fine. 7,000 a month. Number 5, never be monogamous. Never be monogamous. Any type of monogamy, I'll describe that in a second. If you are monogamous, you are not free. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Because you are not allowed to have sex with whomever you want. You should be allowed to have sex with any woman you want, consenting adults, whenever you want, without having to get permission from anyone. If you have raised your right hand like a moron and told some woman, okay, I'll only fuck you, I promise. Now she owns your dick. You think you own your dick. She owns your dick because she controls when you have sex. No, she doesn't. I can have sex whenever I want. What if she says no, tough guy? What? Yeah. Now you don't have any sex or you go cheat. And as I taught my blogs, men always get caught because they suck at hiding cheating. Then you have explosions of problems. Or you go jerk off the porn like the little beta male pussy that you are. Never promise or be monogamous. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be having sex with 14 different women. 2 is all most men need. I've talked about this many times. 1 MLTR, one woman you're dating, and 1 FB on the side. That's it. That's 2. You're good to go. You're fine. All right? No big deal. Now, verbalize it de facto. Let me explain this. Hang on 1 second here. Here's what some guys will do. They will say to me, well, I'm not monogamous. So here's what will happen. Guy will be dating multiple women, maybe. Okay. He'll start leaning into one woman that he likes the most. And then over time, he'll stop having sex with all the other girls because insert favorite excuse here, because, well, I was busy with work, or because I was traveling too much, or because we were fucking her. I was fucking her every day and she gives really good blowjobs, so I don't have to have sex with other girls. So I just stopped. Whatever fucking excuse, or because I'm tired, whatever the fuck excuse you have. Then you wake up one morning and it's been 3 or 4 or 5 months. You've only had sex with her. Congratulations, idiot. You are now monogamous. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. We never had talked. I never promised her exclusivity. We never said that. You know, I told her, Caleb, I told her that we did the talk from your book. And I told her that that's, you can see the voice. This is how the voice, well, I told her that I'm allowed to fuck other girls whenever I want. And she agreed. Doesn't matter. If you're only putting your penis inside one woman, you are monogamous. It doesn't matter what words you said, what the sounds you made coming out of your mouth. Monogamous means you are having sexual intercourse with one woman. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters, bro. Sorry. So that's called de facto monogamy. When you're having sex with one woman, but you haven't verbally told her or haven't verbally said, I'm only going to have sex with you once. It applies to men who are having sex with one prostitute. Some of you are doing this. You guys are having sex with a hooker. It's the same hooker every time. Guess what? You're monogamous to a hooker. No. Now, verbalized monogamous means you made the promise. That's also bad. Don't be monogamous. Every 6 weeks, there should be a second woman in there at the bare minimum. Bare minimum. Women know. Women have perception and intuition that we men don't have. When you are only fucking one woman, even if you didn't say anything about it, even if you said you're going to fuck other girls, women know. Trust me. They smell it. They know. They know, I'm the only one he's fucking. So her hands will be on your balls, and it won't be in a good way. Actually, sure, your balls will be in her handbag. Pair bonding is okay. So here's what happens with a lot of trad cons when I say this. Caleb, you can't have a world where all the men are fucking everybody else and no one's ever pair bonding because that means all the betas won't get laid. You won't have any children. I didn't say don't pair bond. Pair bonding is wonderful. I am pair bonded. I'm married. I'm married and emotionally exclusive to one woman. My wife, Pink Firefly, she's wonderful. I'm married. I'm pair bonded, but I have sex with other women every week. You can be pair bonded and not monogamous. It's called OLTR. I didn't say pair bonding is bad. Pair bonding is great for older men. You're under 30, no. Over 30, over 35, great. Pair bond all you want as long as you're having sex with other women besides your wifey poo or your girlfriend poo. One girlfriend and one FB on the side is fine. That's two or more. We're happy. Cool. So pair bonding is fine. I am a big fan of pair bonding. Love it. Okay, if that's what you want to do. All right. Standard number 6. Always practice redundancy in your financial life and your woman life. A core aspect of Alpha Male 2.0 is redundancy. The worst, this is something from one of my mentors, Dan Kennedy, from many years ago. One of his big statements was, the most dangerous number in life is not 0. It's the number 1. Having one of something. One income, especially if it's a fucking job. If you have a business, one income stream. You're reliant on, this is most of you, one country. Most of you, listen to the sound of my voice, are reliant on one country for your income, your sex life, your retirement, your economy, your well-being, your real estate values, the laws. One country. One country owns you. I do 5 flags. No country fucking owns me. I don't rely on one country. I rely on about 7. I'm covered. Also in your woman life. This means you're not monogamous to one woman. You have at least 2 or more. You don't need 17. 2 is fine. Okay? So one of anything is bad. One bank. I love these people. I've dated many of these people, and I've known some of these people as men. They have one checking account at one bank. So what happens is their card number gets hacked on the internet. So they got to cancel their debit card and send them a new card, which takes them a week and a half. So for a week and a half, they freak out because they can't pay their bills because they don't have a debit card to pay their bills with. And they go, ah! I'm like, why the fuck don't you have another debit card at another account or another bank? You should be operating with at minimum 2 banks, and one of those banks should have 2 accounts. That happens to me all the time. Your card gets hacked and you got to get a new card. I don't care. I have 6 other cards. I have multiple credit cards, multiple debit cards, multiple checking accounts. I do business with about 6 or 7 different banks all over the world. And many of those banks have multiple accounts. So I never, if one bank fucks me, which happens all the times, banks suck, I'm fine. I go, well, that bank sucks. So I'm shift to this bank. Redundancy. Matter of fact, one of the reasons, the reason I just postponed my trip to Kazakhstan was I was dealing with a bank here in Dubai, my primary bank here in Dubai, which is a good bank. There was a problem, which it wasn't my fault, causing some issues. And I realized this was the only bank in Dubai that does this function I need. I went, okay, I'm violating my own rule. I have one. So I spent all day Monday, all day, like 9 hours running around different banks, setting up new bank accounts. So I never have this fucking problem again in Dubai. Redundancy. Women too. This applies to all kinds of things. It applies to friends, applies to income streams, applies to countries, 2 or 3 or 4, never 1 and not 0. We'll get to 0 in a second. Redundancy. Core concept. If you're not redundant, you're dependent. You're 100% reliant on that thing. Hang on a second here. Hang on one moment. Okay. Never rely on just one. Cool. We're talking about that. Alpha Male 2.0, standard number 7. This is another one. Some of you are fucking this up. Having sex on a regular basis. There are numerous health benefits, physical benefits, psychological benefits to having sex on a regular basis. If you don't have sex on a regular basis, you go 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. I'm talking about men now. Women are different. Men, you will suffer psychological dysfunction and over time, medical dysfunction. One of my articles lists all the things doctors talk about physiologically that happen that are negative when you go without sex for long periods. It affects all kinds of weird stuff. Not only things like your testosterone, but like your hearing. Go read the article. It's all from doctors. Okay, don't look at me. When you don't have regular sex, you start feeling needy. You start feeling antsy. You start feeling reactive, going back to outcome dependence. A lot of you outcome dependent guys aren't getting laid. It's time to get laid a little more. Now, do you need to have sex every day of your life? No. I have sex 2 to 3 times a week, and that's on the extreme end as compared to most men. Fine. What's the minimum, Caleb? Once every 6 weeks. Not once. If you go more than 6 weeks without having any sex, you're in a danger zone. Bad news. And it should not get to 6 weeks, in my opinion. You've already fucked up at 6 weeks. Regular sex. I don't care if you've been married, monogamously married for 25 years. Open up your marriage. I have a whole book on how to do it. I don't care if you think you're a loser and girls don't like you. I was like that. Worked out for me. I don't care what your fucking excuse is. I don't care. If you are really, if you're riddled with cancer and you can't get out of bed, okay, fine. That's different. 99.9% of you don't have that problem. All right? I don't care what your excuse is. Get laid. It's not that hard. I have numerous books and courses, and so does many other people, on how to get laid. It's not a big deal. I walk my talk. I've said this many times. I'm happy to say this again. I have not gone without sex. I have sex every week without fail since 2007. That's 17 years ago. And there's only twice in the last 17 years I went more than not 6 weeks, 30 days without having sex. I'll tell you what those two events were, because I remember them. First one was in 2009. I was living in Portland, Oregon. It was around December. A giant snowstorm hit the entire city. I was snowed into my house, and no one could leave their house. I didn't have an SUV. I had a little car. Not a little car. I had a Nissan. So I was stuck. No one could go anywhere in the entire city for like a week or two. And then it was the Christmas season, Christmas holiday. Very hard to schedule women on Christmas holiday. So I went like 30 days without having sex. Okay, that was 2009. One time. Second time was 2012. I did a whirlwind trip all over Asia, Australia, and Oceania. I visited all these different countries. I just didn't have time to focus on having sex. So I went about 30, 31 days without having sex. The day after I got back to the United States, I had sex. So twice I've gone without sex longer than 30 days in 17 years. It's not a big deal. It can be done. By the way, if you're dating multiple women, 2 or more, this makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? You monogamous motherfuckers, it's hard for you. That's why you should be monogamous. You guys aren't getting laid at all. Time to fix that problem. You will not be happy long-term if you're regularly going long stretches without having sex. I come out of the pickup artist world, and a big thing in pickup artists back then, I don't know if it still is now, was a thing called dry spells. So these pickup artists would like bang all these girls, and then they'd get busy with work or busy with this or focused on that. And they would have sex like 4 or 5 months, and they complain about their dry spells. I'm like, I don't have these. I don't focus on one-night stands like pickup artists do. I focus on long-term, happy, non-monogamous relationships. So I always have a number of women all over the world at this point who I can see. I have, 7 flags, about 7 flags where countries I regularly visit. I have women who I know I have sex with in 6 of those flags. And in the 7th one, I could get one quickly if I wanted. Now, I'm not saying you need to do that exactly. You get my point. Don't let 6 weeks go without having sex, period. I don't care what your excuse is unless you're so physically fucked up you can't have sex. That's different. If you fucked up your back and you can barely walk, that's different, of course. Other than that one extreme example, get laid, please. It's not that hard. All right. I got to hurry up. Oh, did I miss one? Shit, hang on. Oh, monk mode. Let me say that really quick. I have an entire video on my Alpha Male 2.0 YouTube channel called Monk Mode is Bullshit. Feel free to watch that if you're thinking about, what about monk mode? I heard monk mode. Monk mode, as I talked on that video, are only for players and pickup artists who get addicted to banging lots of girls and sex takes over their life. For those guys, monk mode is a valid thing. Is that you? No, 97% of you are not in that category. Don't do monk mode. That's an excuse for beta males who aren't having sex to not have more sex. All right, number 8. Look as good as you can within the confines of the 3 things you cannot control, which is your height, your genetics, and your age. Those are the only 3 things that you physically can't control. You can control everything else. I'm 52. Do I look 52? So you can control your weight. I know that's hard for some of you. It's hard for me. You can control your hair, your face, your skin, your wrinkles, the tone of your skin, your teeth, your fashion, your body fat percentage, how big your muscles are, your bearing, your body language. You can control all of those things. Those are all within your control. No excuses about this. Do you have to be perfect looking? No. Am I perfect looking? No. Do I have a 6-pack? No, I don't. But I look pretty damn good compared to the average American 52-year-old man. Pretty damn good. And I had to work on it. Some of this hair is fake. I had to fix my teeth. I had a big gap in my tooth. I had to lose weight. I had to clean up my fashion. I do a number of things. Get it? Done. Now, the beauty of this is as you get older, you have more money, it's easier to do these things. Younger, though, too. You focus on what, don't say, but I'm black. I should probably throw race in there, too. I forgot race. But I'm black, but I'm Indian. But Caleb, I'm 47. No young girl would fuck a 47. Are you kidding, dude? You know how much pussy I was getting when I was 47? Oh, God damn it. But I'm this and I'm that, but I'm only 5'7". You know how many guys I know are 5'7" who get laid? Are you kidding? Stop. Focus on what you can control. Here's the other thing, too. The alpha male 2.0 is non-monogamous. So unlike beta males and alpha male 1.0s who eventually surrender to monogamy, we can't just marry some woman and just let it all go and get fat and get bald and look like shit by the time we're in their 50s or 60s. There's going to be constantly new women coming into your life, more or less. So you got to look good as you age. So the alpha male 2.0, we have an obligation to ourselves to look good as we age. And here's the thing. Unlike some of these other ones, a lot of you are doing very well with this. A lot of you older guys are looking really good. I've spoken to a lot of you. You're looking really good. So you guys are doing pretty good on this one. Unlike the outcome independence one, you guys are doing pretty well. Keep it up. And if you're not looking good, resolve it. But that'll take a year. Okay, it'll take a year. But that'll cost $4,000. Okay, save it up. It makes $4,000. Okay, fine. Do it. Great. Number 9. This one's a little controversial. Avoid all negative emotions as much as humanly possible. All of them, provided you're over the age of 25. Now, I talk about this, chapter 2 of my main book, The Unchained Man. Go read that book or reread it if you want more details on this. Here's the bottom line. If you are over the age of about 25, there is literally no reason for you to feel any negative emotion ever again. But Caleb, no, there's no reason to feel angry, lonely, jealous, sad, scared, frustrated, any negative emotion. I'm not saying you won't feel these things. If your mom or dad die, you're going to feel bad. You can't control that. Fine. How often does your mom and dad die? Rarely. You see my point? The reason for this is by the time you're about 25 years old, you have experienced every negative emotion you could possibly feel. Think about this. By the time you're 25, did you get mad? Yeah. Did you feel sad? Yeah. Did you feel lonely? Yeah. Did you feel jealous, frustrated, scared? Oh, yeah. You felt all those things from age 0 to 25. You don't need to keep re-experiencing these things. I think you got the fucking point. I think you remember how it feels to be mad or sad or lonely. Do you need to keep feeling sad again? Remember? Because that's the argument he believes. Well, you have to understand negative feelings to feel negative so you can appreciate the positive. You already did that. You did that when you were under the age of 25, maybe under the age of 20. I'm being generous, so I say 25. So guess what? If you're over 25, even close to 25, you have now graduated to unlimited happiness. You don't need to feel any negative emotion. And if you justify any negative emotion, you're full of shit if you're over the age of 25. There's no reason to experience this stuff. None. 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 Well, you come try to take my guns, I'm going to get mad. I didn't say you don't take action to make your life better or defend yourself. Let me be clear about this. If someone comes up to you and starts to fight you, I didn't say you stand there and you get punched. I said negative emotions. I didn't say you're a pushover or a pussy. Come try to punch me and watch what happens. Okay? Yes, defend yourself. But you don't have to get mad, angry, sad, depressed, scared, pissed off at woke people. These are useless emotions if you're over the age of 25. And often they're useless when you're under 25. But at least you're under 25, you can make the valid argument. You have to learn emotional range. All right, fine. Okay. Hang on. Number 10. Oh, okay. This is a big one. And this is going to be hard for some of you, especially those of you at the beginning of the slides. I showed you the type of men who won't do this. Those of you who want to save your society, those who want to stand and fight, those who want to save America, save Canada, save the UK, those who want to vote the bums out, those of you who want to convert people to Christianity or Islam, society doesn't exist to make you happy. That's not why society exists. Society exists. The structure of society exists for one primary reason: to serve the elites. Again, I've written about this in great detail in my books and my blogs. The elites, the top 10,000 to 25,000 people on earth who kind of run the planet. And then the people right below that. Everything in society is designed to serve them, not to make you happy. Now, not necessarily to make you sad either, although some aspects are to make you mad. Social media has done a great job at making sure that you're mad at each other instead of the elites. My favorite example I've used several times, around 2017-ish, I could be getting that wrong a little bit. The issue of gay marriage, at least in the United States, was this huge thing for about 2 years. For about 2 years, every left-winger and every right-winger were screaming at each other on Facebook and Twitter about gay marriage. The left-wingers like, oh my God, you're trying to oppress gay people and you're like Hitler and you're horrible and you should fuck the fuck off and, gay people have rights. And right-wingers like, oh, you're going to destroy the country and destroy the family and destroy the family unit. Fuck you. For 2 fucking years, I heard this. I saw it all over the place. And I've made this observation before, what percentage of humanity is affected by whether or not gay marriage is legal or not? A fraction of 1%, really quick. The percentage of gay people, real gay people in society, not bisexual women pretending to be gay for a few years until they go back to fucking guys. That's a big thing right now. The percentage of real gay people is somewhere between 3 and 7% of the population at best. Only a tiny fraction of gay people get married because, newsflash, most gay people don't like getting married, especially gay men. They think it's stupid. They don't want to get married. So it's a small percentage of 3 to 5% or 3 to 7% of people. So it's literally a tiny, 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 tiny fraction of 1%. So you're all worked up. Any one of you right-wingers and you left-wingers, if I asked you your opinion on legalization of gay marriage, you could go for 45 minutes telling you about your fucking opinion about this thing that affects a fraction of 1%. And as you were all screaming at each other for those years and years, the elites were giving each other high fives. Thank God they're screaming at each other and not paying attention to what we're doing. Now, what are they doing? What's an issue that affects 100% of all of you? There's a few of them like the Federal Reserve. Even if you're not an American, that affects you, affects the entire planet, the Federal Reserve. So if I ask a right-winger or a left-winger, what's your opinion on gay marriage? I'm going to get a 45-minute oration on exactly what their opinion is. If I then say to that typical person, what is your opinion on the Federal Reserve? What are they going to say? They're going to say, what's that? The elites are there to maintain power over you via society. Religion, politics, all these things are designed to maintain the power of the elites. So when you were trying to save society, but what about society? All you guys were pissed off that, oh no, white people need to have more kids. To serve the elites more, you should focus on you and your inner circle. If you have a spouse, children, things like that, focus on that first. If you really want to deal with society later, do that when you're self-actualized. Society is not there to help you. It's not necessarily to harm you, but it's not there to make you happy. It's there to serve the elites. Now, if you are an elite, then different story, but you're probably not. I'm not and never will be. Okay. Alpha Male 2.0 standard number 11. This one should be obvious, but many of you are fucking this up. And what's interesting is you know you're fucking this up when you do it. You must avoid all legal structures with women in your romantic life. I didn't say with women business owners, sure. I do a lot of business with Billy. She's fantastic. I'm not dating Billy, so that's different. I'm talking about women in your romantic life. No financial structures in your life with women you are having sex with. Several examples. No legal marriage. Are there rare, weird exceptions where that might make sense? Yes. Again, the exception proves the rule. Legal marriage. Co-owning property. Do not buy a house with your girlfriend, you dumb shit. You guys are all, so many guys are doing this, and then you break up, and there's this fucking nightmare, and you got to sell the house, and she hates you, and she won't have the real estate agents. I've seen this happen over and over. All these guys and women who think they're being smart by not getting married, but I'll just buy a house with this woman. No, you own it or she owns it, period. And if you want the other person to pay rent, fine. Co-owning a business. Here's something I get a lot from you guys. I get this from my audience. I get this from guys I coach. This is a very common thing. So it goes like this. So Caleb, yeah, I have this MLTR, and she's really awesome, and we fuck all the time. She's really hot. It's great. Oh, it's so great. And they go, so, and they say, yeah, they actually say, I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say, but I have to ask this question. So she's really good at blank business skill. So I was thinking we could start a business together, and I could own half, and she could own half. We could do a business. No, not if you're having sex. No. Co-signing debt. Don't co-sign a car loan with your girlfriend or your MLTR or your FB or your sugar baby. What are you doing? If you're really rich, buy her a car. Fine. Don't co-sign a car loan. Sharing leases, putting both people on the lease, one person on the lease, that's it. Unless mandated by the law of your county or state. No legal structures in place with women you're having sex with. And if you have to do something like a cohabitation agreement or a prenuptial agreement, that's a very big topic. We just address that in the Q&A if you want. That's what do I say about that? Make sure it's enforceable in your region. And in most parts of the Western world, it's not enforceable. Because it's a left-wing world, and left-wingers don't like prenups. Okay. Standard number 12. This one should be a little obvious. You must be 100% location independent. I already talked about the minimum income. If your income is location dependent, it doesn't count. Sorry, it doesn't. If you are rooted to a particular city, country, or region in order to make money and pay your bills, you are not free. Like Doug Casey said, you are living the lifestyle model of a plant, not of a human, not of a man. Moreover, on top of that, in the collapsing era in which we live, where the Western world will collapse in your lifetime, and the AI revolution, good and bad, talk about that next week, is also going to happen in your lifetime, you are exposed beyond anything else you could possibly do by being location dependent. You are completely exposed to all these problems. The reason many of you are concerned about the upcoming election in the United States or Canada or whatever is because you're stuck there. You're location dependent. You're stuck in the collapsing USA. I don't give a fuck because I don't live there. And I'm location dependent. I'm going to fuck, man. I don't care about Dubai either. I live in Dubai. I don't care about Dubai. If I need to move to Dubai, I'll be in Paraguay in 2 days. 48 hours, I'll be in Paraguay. Or Paraguay, or Mexico, or Armenia. I have other flags. I have plan B, I'm plan C, and plan D. I'm a maniac with this stuff. You get my point. Your income must be 100% location dependent through the Alpha 2.0 business model we talk over about at Unchained CEO. It's not that hard. Making $7,000 a month, $85,000 a year, location dependent is doable by any man listening to the sound of my voice within a year or two of work. Sometimes not even that long. It's not that tough. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. During the pandemic, I had emails from guys saying, oh my God, I'm stuck in blank, horrible country with all these fucking lockdowns. I can't go anywhere. I'm location dependent. I've been listening to your advice for 5 years. I've been location dependent. I ignored it, and now I'm fucked. I'm going to get a lot more of those emails soon with the collapse of the USA, Canada, Western Europe, most of Eastern Europe. Australia's having a lot of problems right now. Plus the AI thing. Financially and sexually. Now, there are some of you, let me go back. There are some of you, unfortunately, you are location dependent or more or less. location dependent. You could be mobile if you wanted to. But your wife won't let you leave. But your fucking girlfriend won't let you leave. But Caleb, Susie won't let you, you fucking baby, you fucking pussy, really? So even if you're non-monogamous, if you have a wifey poo or a girlfriend poo who stamps a little foot and says, I'm not moving to Paraguay, I'm not moving to Mexico, I'm staying right here in Canada. Fuck you. You have a decision to make, bro. You're not Alpha 2.0. Moreover, you should be able to get laid anywhere in the world you go. I just mentioned earlier, I have about 7 flags I actually visit. I have women in 6 of those 7 flags, including Kazakhstan. I'm going to Kazakhstan next week. I have an FB in Kazakhstan. Now, again, I'm not saying you have to have FBs over the planet Earth. Well, I'm not going to fucking do that. You get my point. You should be able to know you can get laid anywhere you go that is a place that you go regularly, whatever your regular flag or flags are. Instead of, I can only get laid in this country. There are men who think, who live in the United States or Canada or the UK, I can only get laid here. I can't get laid anywhere else. The opposite's true. Now, there are other men who say, I can't get laid in the United States. I have to go to the Philippines. No one will fuck me in the United States. Also wrong. So you need to be location dependent, not just financially, but sexually. You should be getting laid in any of your flags without a lot of trouble. And it's not that hard. Cool? Cool. All right. Last one. We'll get to Q&A. Number 13. Oh, I say the best for last. They're all important, but this is a big one. This is one some of you are fucking up. Kick your ass a little bit, some of you guys. Some of you younger guys. And some of you older guys too. My God. Oh. No one has the right to make you unhappy. No one in your life has the right to make you unhappy. You are a sovereign individual. You own your own life. You are an adult. I'm assuming you're over the age of 18. If you're under 18, different story. If you're 18 or over and you're an adult, no one has the right to make you unhappy. One exception I'll throw in there are if you have kids under the age of 12, I'll say under the age of 13. If you have small children, that's different because that's on you. You made those fuckers. You got to take care of them. They're going to drive you crazy. Sorry. I consider, this is my opinion, small children. Once they hit 13, different story. But small children, they're an extension of you. So you got to take care of those kids, even if they drive you crazy. Okay, now, but when they hit teenage years, if they turn into nightmare psychos, you kick their asses out. No one has the right to make you unhappy. Nobody. I'll tell you 2 stories of what I told my kids when they turned teenagers. Matter of fact, let me talk about that right now before I get to the next part of this. I think I've talked about this before. Hang on, let me check the technology here, make sure we're good here. Still good. Okay. I have a son and I have a daughter. My son is in his early 30s. My daughter is in her mid 20s, but they were both little ones. And so here's what I told them. And like, I terrified them, especially my daughter, like, oh my God. So my daughter and my son are very different personalities. And one's a girl, one's a boy, different concerns for different things. When they entered into teenage years, they entered into high school. My concern for my son was that he would fall into a bad crowd and he would start doing drugs or drinking alcohol. I didn't want him to do that. Once you're 18, fine, but not when you're a teenager in my house. My concern for my daughter was that maybe she'd get horny like her dad and have sex with dudes and get pregnant as a teenager and be a teen mom. Holy shit. Every man's, fear about his daughter and his son. So here's what I told my son when he was about 13. I said, son, listen, little bro, I don't do drugs and I've never been drunk, but I've been around every kind of drug you could think of for many years. I've dated women. I've hung out with friends, coworkers who did heroin, who did meth, smoke weed, prescription drugs, get drunk. I know drugs. I know how they smell. I know how they look. If I find out you have done any drugs whatsoever, well, rewind. First of all, I said, when you're 18 and out of the house, do whatever you want. I'm a libertarian. Blow your brains out with drugs if that's what you want to do. Fine. Whatever you want when you're 18 and you don't live here. Great. But until that day, from age 13 to 18, if I find out you've done any drugs, here's what I'm going to do. You can do it if you want. I'm an alpha male 2.0 father. I don't tell my kids what to do. I just tell them what I'm going to do. You would choose to do drugs. Here's what I'm going to do. Everything in your room comes out of your room. Everything. Your room will be empty. Everything in your closet comes out. What goes back in your room is a mattress. Then in your closet, and my son is really into fashion and looking good, and he's into that stuff. What goes back in your closet are 3 outfits that I choose. That's it. So now make your own decision. And he never touched drugs or alcohol, to my knowledge, through all that time. Now he's a successful man. My daughter, here's what I told her. When she was 13-ish, I said, all right, Sailor Moon. All right, Elita 1. Here's the deal. When you're 18, go do whatever you want. You can have all the sex you want, date all the guys you want. Do not care. It's your life. Right now, between age 13 and 18, if you get pregnant, here's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell your mom what to do. You can talk to your mom and she can give you a different story, maybe. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to give you one fucking penny to support that baby. Not one. Here's what's going to happen if you get pregnant. If you're stupid enough to get pregnant as a teenage girl, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you in my car. I'm going to drive downtown. I'm going to go to the welfare office. I'm going to kick you out of that car. You're going to go stand in line with all the other losers, and then I'm going to drive away. And that's it. So now make your own decision. And by the way, I wasn't kidding. I wasn't exaggerating. I would have done this shit. Now, thank God, my kids turned out great. They didn't do any of those things. Cool. Because they had a strong father who loved them and took care of them. But I'm not with these people who have these teenage sons and teenagers. Oh, he's a nightmare. He's ruining, he's committing crimes. And I've talked to people. Well, why don't you kick him out of your house? Well, I can't kick him out. He's my son. Yes, you fucking can. No one has the right to make you unhappy. Now, let me give you something more specific. Eject anyone in your life who causes you unhappiness, including your mom. Talk about mom in a second. Your wife, your best friend, your grown children, your teenage children, your dad. No one in your life has the right to make you unhappy. Now, let me talk a minute about mom, because a lot of you guys, you Hispanic guys, you black guys, some of you guys from India, some of you Asian guys, some of you guys, and it's a few of you white guys, not mostly it's a non-white thing. Some of you guys have moms that you live with or spend a lot of time with who are driving you insane because your mom's a bitch. And you won't leave her and kick her out of your life because she's my mom. And you make all these excuses, well, because she's my mom. And then she screams at you and screams at you and screams at you and screams at you and berates you, makes you feel like shit, fucks up your self-esteem, and you sit on your ass by doing it because she's my mom. No one in your life has the right to make you unhappy. Also applies to dad. Usually it's mom, I found with most of you guys. Some of you guys are in your 30s, worried about your mama. Now, if your mom's a nice person, my mom's a sweetheart. So I didn't have to do that. Although I didn't tell my mom to fuck off. I've told that story. I told my dad to fuck off too. Because unlike many of you, I have balls. You can't tell your parents to fuck off. You're not a man yet. If they're legitimately in the wrong. It only happened once with each. I don't have time to tell that story now. Maybe we'll tell it in a future podcast. I think I've told it before. Only had to tell my mom to fuck off once. Never had a problem again. Told my dad to fuck off once. Never had a problem for him again. But so if you do this right, it only happened once. But some of you have, mentally ill mothers and psychotic alpha male 1.0 fathers or abusive fathers or psycho mothers. Guess what? You kick them to the curb. Goodbye. Now, maybe that's not your rest of your life. Maybe it's 2 years and then you inch back in and see how things go. No one has the right to make you unhappy. It doesn't matter if they're your child or your mom or your wife. How many of you older guys, some of you middle-aged guys are still in monogamous marriages to women you can't stand and you don't have the balls to leave, don't you? I know a lot of you are out there. I get your emails. What are you doing? You only get to live this life once. And I don't believe in an afterlife. I don't. When you're gone, you're gone. That's my belief, unfortunately. I believe Caleb, I'm gone when I die. Even if there's nirvana. That's not me. Plus, I don't even believe in that. I only get to do this once. I am not going to let any person, minus small children I have under the age of 12, make me unhappy consistently. I don't care how much I love that person. I don't care how special that person is. I don't care if I came out of the vagina of that person. I don't care. That's all societal programming. Long-term consistent happiness. Some of you have big changes to make in your life. I made many of those changes. Some of you have to cut some people off. Friends, too. I didn't even talk about friends. I'm not a big social guy. I'm an introvert, but some of you have really fucked up friends. What the fuck are you doing? All right. That's it. Real quick, we'll do Q&A. CalebJones.com/events. The Uruguay event is going to be in July. We're going to announce that tomorrow. I have another event in November here in Dubai, which is a higher ticket event. I will announce that also tomorrow. But for now, I'm doing a London seminar, which is pretty cheap, in June or July? June. It's really cool. I'm doing real quick, Vince. Seminar in June, mastermind in June in London. I'm doing a mastermind in June, July in Phoenix, Arizona. We're doing the Get Residency in Paraguay event and the Get to Know Paraguay event in June, July. Uruguay in July. And a bunch of other stuff. CalebJones.com/events. What I'm doing I'm going to be in the UK for about 3 weeks. I'm going up to Glasgow. So I'm going to London. I'll be in London for most of the time. I'm going to go to Oxford for a few days and do a J.R.R. Tolkien pilgrimage, where I'm going to go to all the places where he sat and wrote Lord of the Rings. I'm very excited. I want to do this a long time. Super pumped about that. And then I'm going to go to Glasgow. I'm going to go to Scotland. Never been to Scotland before, ever. Been to UK a million times. Never been to Scotland. Going to Glasgow. And I'm going up to the Scottish Highlands. It's actually the lowlands, right? Don't you have the lowlands and the Highlands, you Scottish people? You Scottish guys? You Scottish people. You people. I sound like Bill Maher. Doing that. I'll be back to London, and then I'm heading off to the United States. And I'll be in Paraguay for 3 months. So very excited. All right. Let's see your questions here. As usual, you have a ton. I will hang out as much as I can, and then I will, let's see, how am I going? Yeah, I have time for a little bit questions. All right, hang on. If I can't set up a second date at my place logistically at my place, is her place okay? Her place is fine. The problem is that the vast majority of females do not live alone. That's the problem. Women always live with other people. And she'll say, well, but what about my roommate? Well, what about my mom? What about my sister? Well, I live in a thing where you've got to come into the main area and people will see you. That's the problem. But if she is able to make it work, yeah, it's great. I've done that a few times. Sure. Jordan Peterson significantly fixed his depressive anxiety problems through diet, yet he doesn't talk enough about diet. No, just a few months ago, his own daughter was trying to get him to get off Twitter. He fixed his anxiety and shit, but he's still furious. He has a huge temper like Andrew Tate. How long should you wait to message a woman after the first time you have sex with them? The very next day. You don't wait. The very next day. You don't have time to play it cool anymore. It's not the 80s. In the 80s, you could wait a few days and play it cool. You can't do that. So the next day, you send her a text. Hey, how's it going? When traveling, you need to reapply the glue to your head yourself for your system. It's not glue. It's more complicated than that. It's a whole complicated. You know what I'll do? One of these days I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll film it. If you guys want this, let me know. Because I'm not going to put it. I don't care if you see it. When my hair guy comes over and does the full thing where we shaves my head, and I'll film the whole thing and I'll put it up on YouTube. And yeah, there's a bunch of shit I got to do myself. Yeah, right. You said on dates we should only sit at a corner of a table or bar. Not only, that's the best. Sometimes you can't. Not side by side or face to face. What if there's no corners available? Then that's fine. Side by side and face to face is fine. I said that's ideal, not you must. You're overthinking it. You said a blog post about 10 years ago, at least get laid even if she looks like Jabba the Hutt. Maybe if you have no other options, but you can't have sex with ugly women long-term either. I said that too. Is it okay to fuck Jabba the Hutts or not fuck at all until we get someone at least cute? Here's the problem is that guys get into, and some of you are in this category, guys get into a habit pattern of only fucking ugly girls, and it ruins your self-esteem. And then you never fuck a hot girl because you think, no hot girl ever fuck me, only fat ugly girls fuck me. So as a one-off, an ugly girl occasionally, fine. I've said this many times. When I was a divorced beta male dad, not knowing the fuck I was doing, in 2007, I made a pact with myself. I will only have sex with 8s or higher. And it worked. I made that work. 8s or higher. My version of an 8. Whatever your version of an 8 is. So say 7 or higher. And I made it work. I was able to be somewhat selective. Today, I'm really picky. Today, it's 11s or higher. But back then, it was, but so you don't have to do that. But yeah, it's fine. Do you have any other requirements for OLTR other than no drama, okay with you banging others, and traveling with you? Traveling with you is an option. Pink Firefly's not here in Dubai right now. What else do you look for to ensure compatibility? That's a very big question. Is she cool with where your life is going? You're going to lay out your whole life. This is what I'm about. This is what I'm going to do. This is the next 25 years. And then you watch her. Is she cool with that? Or she go, like, you don't want any kids and she wants 3 kids. Well, that's a problem. So in terms of where you're going in life, and then if you're complementary, is your communication good? Do you complement each other? So the reason my first marriage, my first wife lasted so long, even though we were both kind of miserable, we were not complementary. Oh, excuse me. We were complementary, but we weren't compatible. I shouldn't have married that person, but we were very complementary. She was a very good homemaker and managing the house, managing the kids, cooking food, taking care of the yard, taking care of the house. She was like, she would work in the garage and build things. She was amazing. And I was really good at bringing in the cash. So it kind of worked. So that kind of stuff. You mentioned eating sugar will cause cancer over time. How infrequently do you have to eat something like a dessert to not get cancer? Once a week, twice a year? You're asking the wrong person. I'm not a fitness person. I don't know the answer to that question. What are thoughts on artificial sweeteners like aspartame and Zevia are caffeine-free sugar sodas? Okay. I don't know. My understanding is that stevia is okay because it's natural. Aspartame is not because it's garbage. That's my understanding. I don't know. Is it not even better to only work on 1 and not 2 goals? Yes. It's better to have 1 than 2. 2 is okay. The book, The One Thing, talks about only having 1. Not exactly. Now, The One Thing is an amazing book. It's one of my core books. That's not exactly what it says. What is the one thing I can do? Not you can only work on 1 goal. Leo Babuta in The Power of Less talks about only 1 goal, 2. No, he talks about 2. He talks about 1 or 2, max 2. Read the book again. For seeing MLTRs, will it still count as seeing her once if you have to go to an appointment for a few hours and see her again the same day, or will it count as seeing her twice? If it's a one-off thing, it's fine. This is the essence of karma yoga, the Bhagavad Gita. Focus on enjoying the process, not the outcomes. Yeah, I think they're both important. So, yeah, you should enjoy the process. That's very important. The outcome is also important. The long-term macro outcome that you have direct control over. So people say, well, if you're outcome independent, you don't care if you hit your goals. Outcome independent means you don't care about the details on the way to your goals. So I want my big goals. Outcome is important to me. But all the details don't give a fuck. And all the things that outside in the external world outside me don't give a fuck unless they have to be relevant. When is the new Unchained Man coming out on Kindle or Audible? Several months. Do your duty without attachments to the fruit of your actions. A long-term MLTR of 3 years told me she can't hang out anymore due to a new boyfriend that doesn't want her seeing me. Correct. It's called a listen thing. It's very normal. Mm-hmm. I liked having sex with her, but also have an OLTR. Okay. You're all over the place. You cannot have an MLTR if you have an OLTR. So what I think you mean, I hope you mean, is you have an FB. You have an FB, not an MLTR. You can't have an OLTR and an MLTR because OLTR is exclusive. Didn't you say they always return? If you've done all the cardinal rules, and I don't know if you've had, because some of the stuff you're saying doesn't make sense. If you've done all the cardinal rules, the odds of returning are very high. Yes. If you've done all the cardinal rules, all 9 of them. If you were to lock a girl in on a Tuesday, does the once a week rule apply immediately, or could you see her that Saturday? That's good enough. So then you can't see her again until the following calendar week. So like the following, like Friday, Saturday. It's fine. Currently have a few women on the go thanks to you. Cool. I'm an INFJ, so my empathetic side is getting in the way. Do you have students that are INFJs? I have many. You kidding? Put in the chat or the comments if you're an INFJ. Yeah, there's plenty. And how do they manage their empathy for women? That's a very general question. You can follow Alpha Male 2.0 and have lots of empathy. There are extroverts who are Alpha Male 2.0. Alpha Male 2.0 is not just INTJ robots. That's me. There's lots of very emotional Alpha Male 2.0s, trust me. You can have plenty of empathy for your women. As long as you don't get one-itis and you follow the cardinal rules. Those are two core. You don't get one-itis. She's not like the rest. She's perfect. Nope. You follow all the cardinal rules. You can have all the empathy you want. I have empathy for all kinds of people. It's fine. Alex playing with fire, claims to be in a one-way open relationship, but claims to be monogamous with his girlfriend for months at a time. Would that be considered de facto monogamous? Yes. I've already mentioned that before. If you got a one-way open relationship, you're almost monogamous. That's a form of monogamous. Same thing as, I've talked about this, threesome-only relationships. So these guys have a girlfriend. They're allowed to fuck other girls with their girlfriend in a threesome only. The problem with that is you're going to be monogamous in about a year because your girlfriend's going to stop liking it. You can set a timer and your girlfriend say, I don't want to now. Whoa. And now congratulations, now you're monogamous. Same thing, guys, who are swingers. Swinging means you as a couple fuck other couples. So the four of you fuck. And swingers love it. Swingers are very happy people. They really, it's not my thing, but they really love this stuff. But at some point, your girlfriend or wife in a year or two will say, I don't want to do it anymore. And now you're monogamous. So that's a problem. Can I date Billy, please? Sure. She's very picky. She likes darker skinned guys, very smart guys. Is it okay to bend the cardinal rules for an MLTR? No, you don't bend the cardinal rules. No. Texting and seeing her more frequently? No. If she is going through a crisis like the death in a family? No. You will have drama later. Instructions unclear. Just bought a house with a woman during this stream. Shut up. What's the alpha male 2.0's father outlook on their high school age children engaging in fornication? So the alpha male 2.0 father does not tell his kids what to do. He just states just like I did, what you will do. High school kids having sex. Well, you have that discussion. So if it's a boy, you say, hey, dumbass, do you understand what's going to happen if you get a girl pregnant? Do you understand you'll be in prison for 18 years? She will own your wallet for 18 years. You'll be in your 30s and she'll still own your ass. You understand that? You understand? Dumb shit? You understand? And the same thing with a girl. You understand what's going to happen if you get pregnant? You understand this? You understand what is the number? 93% poverty rate for single mothers in the Western world. If you have a kid out of wedlock and you're a young single mom, the odds you'll be in poverty the rest of your life is like 93%. You understand that, sweetheart? So you just, and then you leave it up to them. The alpha male 1.0 says, you will not have sex, I will kill you. And then your daughter, your son might obey that. But your daughter will say, fuck him. I'm going to go fuck this black guy. I know people. I know alpha 1 fathers that you will not. And then they go fuck Mexican guys and black guys just to piss off their dads. Hilarious. When do we get to buy the new Alpha Unchained Brook already? You are already able to buy it. I'm going to quit my jobs and do the 90-day business builder to the wall, like 60 hours a week. Can I get 85 in less than 6 months? If you do the business builder and you do everything we tell you, it's a big if, because a lot of people do, a lot of people don't. We do everything. You do everything we tell you to do. Everything Jeff and Billy and Cliff tell you what to do, and me. And you bust your ass 6 months. 7,000. Yes, you could. Yeah. Especially if you're a consultant. Yeah, you could. I remember either it was a blog or maybe even an Alpha Unchained book that if one of your kids came up to you and wanted to try marijuana or drugs or something, that they could do it in the house. No, that was my dad. My dad said that when we were kids. My dad is a psychologist, and he went to us and said, look, drugs are bad, but if you really want to do drugs, my dad was a lot more liberal, a lot more left-wing than me. And so he said, if you want to do drugs, you can do them in the house under my supervision. Because he was a drug alcohol counselor, so he knew all this stuff. Look, I'll even get them for you. You can't do them out of the house. You got to do them here. If you really want to do them, I'll do them. You'll do them here. You want to snort cocaine or smoke? There was no meth back in the 80s. But, I mean, there was. No one did it. That was my dad, not me. I thought it was interesting. By the way, I didn't take him up on it. I don't do drugs. My sisters didn't. I think one of my brothers wanted to smoke a cigarette or something. I should ask him. One of my little brothers might have taken him up on it. Something minor, I think. I don't remember. I was out of the house by then because I'm the oldest. Would having bad lifestyle habits like smoking and going out late every night disqualify an MLTR from an OLTR? I wouldn't be interested in someone that looks 20 years older than me in the future. Bad lifestyle habits like smoking and going out late every night would disqualify. Yes, if that's important to you, yes. Yes. OLTR, yes. MLTR, no. Yes. Yes. If that's important to you, it sounds like it is, then that would disqualify her. What is important to you? And you have a good reason. I don't want someone who looks 20 years older than me. Great. Pink Firefly is 43 years old, doesn't have a wrinkle on her. Great. So yeah, that is a valid way to disqualify. MLTR, no, but you were specific. You said OLTR. Can you recommend any at-home testing kits for testosterone and hormone optimization? Not really. They're not super accurate. None of those that I've seen are very accurate. You're going to have to go get a blood test. So no, I can't. I'm sure they're out there, but Didn't say you didn't say this. I remember could have been. Okay, yeah, I already answered that. I was depressed with the pool of potential mothers. I want kids. Why are you depressed about that? Here's the thing. Look outside the Western world. You guys want to have kids really bad, and I can't say that. You guys want to have kids really bad, be dads, look outside the Western world. Get outside of America. No Americans can. You can. There are plenty of really good women who will be good mothers in the United States, Canada, Europe, Australia. They can't. But in terms of like large numbers, look outside the Western world. But your content has helped. My strategy is now abundance. If a mother qualifies herself, I'll go with it. Otherwise, all good. Good. There are tons of amazing American girls. I've dated many. They're amazing. Not as many as they used to be, but you're one guy. You need to date 10,000 women? No, you need to date a few of them. You can find a few good women. And if you marry one, OLTR marriage, non-monogamous, don't be stupid. If you want to get married and have kids, you can find somebody. But if you want really wholesome, traditional, there are some women in the United States and Canada, but you'll have an easier odds going outside the Western world. Andrew Tate said, my favorite comments. Always start with Andrew Tate said. Andrew Tate said that having sex with women is gay if it's just for pleasure. Okay? How does that sound to you? Use your objective brain. How does that sound to you? And if the chances of having kids are zero, thoughts? What do you think my thoughts are? You don't have to ask me that question. What do you think that is? What are your thoughts? Use your objective, rational brain. I hope you have one, right? What is that? How does that sound to you? Should I move to LA? No. So California is literally one of the worst places on earth for an alpha male to live, state of California, for both financial reasons and dating reasons. No, you should not move to LA. To find hot women, no, because the city of Indianapolis, there's no women, meaning hot women. That's not true. If I went to Indianapolis, I could find a few hot girls. So A, that's not true. B, you want to go to places with hotter girls? There's lots of the places in the United States that are outside. Don't go to California. Don't go anywhere on the West Coast, please. Go to Florida, Texas, parts of Georgia even. There's a number of places you could go. Not California. Jesus, God. How to get your friend to become an Alpha 2.0. Your odds are your odds of success are less than 10% because only 10% of men will like this material. Likely your friend will say, that's stupid. I'm not doing that. So your odds are very low. You can give him the What is an Alpha Male 2.0 pamphlet booklet PDF that I give out for free. When the Alpha 2.0 blog, the new one goes up in a few days, there's a download for that. Just give him that. Or give him a copy, your copy of Unchained Man. But that's like 500 pages. So Wesley Virgin has a net worth of 40 million, and he said that for 2 years he went with no sex, and you say the opposite. Thoughts? It's correlation versus causation. I'm sure he's making a lot of fucking money before he stopped having sex. Mr. Lucario said men lie to women and justify it by saying women lie to men, can't they? Oh, justify it by saying women lie to men, why can't they? Some men say that. Yeah, he's right. Some men, yeah. And his reply is that straight men will start to suck dick because women do it also. Thoughts. Just don't lie. That's why I love Mr. Lucario. He's the best. Love him to death. Love the guy to death. Fantastic. Good for him. Have you had an experience like the fake taxi videos? I always had a fantasy where the hot Latina Uber driver would just do a quick bang suddenly. No, those are fantasies. I've had many fantasies come true, not that one. Fantasies do come true, but you have to make them happen. You can't just walk around and hope they happen to you. You have to facilitate fantasies. I've had many fantasies. I just had one about 3 days ago. Hint, hint. I mentioned it on a prior podcast. So you got to facilitate fantasies, make them happen. You have to make them happen. You can't just hope they'll happen to you someday. That's beta bill stuff. Okay. Ralph, you're really funny. That's great. I was told that if I moved to Latina America, you mean Latin America, it would be colonization because that's what Europeans did. Are you the same guy asking me these dumb questions? Yeah, okay. Have you been accused that you are telling men to colonize? Like, that's stupid, dude. How to attract hot Latina women because it's rare to see them. Are you the guy in Indianapolis? Yeah, because you live in Indianapolis. Why don't you move to Mexico? My son has a great time there. My son lives in Mexico. Oh, Latina girls. Woo! Hey, go to Brazil. Go to Paraguay for a certain type. Go to fucking Colombia for the hottest girls on earth. Should I colonize Latin America by moving there and become a conquistador like John Anthony Lifestyle? I don't think John Anthony Lifestyle is a conquistador. You can offer real sugar by drinking two. Okay, I don't care about that. I once saw two men having sex in the bathroom because the door accidentally opened. It was a white guy with a Latino. Have you experienced situations where you've seen others doing it by accident in public? Have I ever seen people fuck in public? People have seen me fuck in public. I don't care. I'm not going to pin it. No, I don't think so. Just inherited $7,000 from my recently deceased grandmother. I live paycheck to paycheck. What would you recommend I do with this? Just looking for ideas to make the best of this. Alpha 2.0 financial model. Here we go. Take about 1,000 or 2,000. I would suggest 2,000. Put it in a savings account or hide it away somewhere. That's your emergency fund. Next, the other $5,000, pay off debt. Whatever debt you have, pay it off. Credit cards, whatever. Pay off your debt. That's what you should do. The only reason why Poland allowed Ukraine people is because they can get out cheap labor, but they aren't allowing Muslims or Africans into Poland. So Poland is against illegal immigrants. Okay. Your events page has several errors. It does. It shouldn't now. It did because we just moved the website over. Be more specific and I'll fix them. I can't fix several errors. You got to be more specific. What's the one regret you have when being really aroused made you do example? I once slept with a transgender. Are you the same guy? Okay, you're a King Cobra, you're a maniac. Have you ever dealt with squatters when traveling away? Okay, King Cobra, stop asking psychotic 1% rule questions. Don't do that. Let's see. Ralph, you're great. How to stop getting jealous or envy of other people's success? Any advice? Yeah, use it as motivation to get the same thing. When I was young and I was jealous, I said, wait a second, why am I jealous? I can get the same thing. I just got to do what he did, get the same thing. So I better get to work. And I haven't felt the emotion of jealousy in 20 years, 25 years. I don't remember what it'd be like. So transmute that into motivation to get what you want. Yeah, it was an FB. She said she'd never stop banging me even when she gets a boyfriend. Ignore what women say. Only pay attention to what women do. What women say in relationships and what they actually do are two different things. That doesn't mean they're lying. It means they're girls. Ignore. If a woman makes you a long-term promise, you go, oh, okay, and ignore it. She's not going to do it. There's a reason why the real divorce rate is over 76%. It's in the 80s. And 78% of all divorces filed by the female and 75% of all girlfriend-boyfriend relationships. Okay. So never take any of these promises seriously. Ever. Never. Be non-monogamous. Have multiple women. So if one leaves, you don't care. But I guess this guy is, once she gets a boyfriend, but I guess this guy is alpha. No, more likely he is a beta and he's offering things like that you're not offering her, like monogamy. You have an OLTR. He's offering her shit like, I'll take care of you and you can move to my house. We'll have babies. I won't fuck other people. Should I just let her go? She didn't stick to her word. What I just said. Women don't have a word like men do. How do you make sure that FBs in other countries will remember you and want to come over often if you don't go there? I've talked this on many podcasts. You need to contact them regularly. I just had a long text conversation with one of my main FBs in Paraguay. You need to maintain that relationship over text, sometimes phone calls, video calls, maintain it. And the longer you're going to be gone, the more important it is to maintain it. Thank you for everything you have done for us. You're very welcome. I agree. Thank you. You're very welcome. I saw a clip of Tucker Carlson saying the most important thing to have, to have kids. I know. And high schoolers should have kids. Just thought it was funny. He's the exact opposite of you. I mentioned this when Tucker Carlson said that. Here's what he said. Have kids. Now, the counter argument that someone gave, or he said himself, is, how do you know if you can afford kids? This is why people aren't having kids. It's too expensive to have kids in the Western world. And you know what he said? Oh, just figure it out. Just figure it out. Now, Tucker Carlson is amazingly wealthy and was born into wealth. He's been wealthy since the day he was born. So this ultra wealthy man who was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, who's been wealthy his whole life, just have kids and just you'll figure it out. Just figure it out. You'll just figure it out. It's important. Don't worry about how you can afford it. Just have kids. Insanity. Now, he lives in a different world. So to him, just figure it out. Yeah. He's never had to worry about money his entire life since he was a little kid. So to him, it makes perfect sense. Same thing with that video I did on the guy with the beard on the Daily Wire. The What is a Woman guy. What's his name? That guy. I forget his name. He's like, just get married. Yeah, you might get divorced, but just take the risk. Oh, great. So if you get divorced, is he going to pay for your alimony? Right-wing traditional conservatives love to say, well, just go do it. Are you going to pay for my alimony, my child support, if it doesn't work out? When the odds are like, 85% against me? You want me to take the risk. Why don't you take that fucking risk? Can we sign a contract saying if I have kids, I can't figure out how to pay for them, you'll pay for them, Tucker Carlson? Ask Tucker Carlson that. Hey, Tucker Carlson. Hey, Andrew Tate. If I can't afford my kids, because you said have kids and figure it out, will you pay for my kids? This is the problem with right-wing conservatives. They're completely irrational about this stuff. It's unfortunate. I have stepbrothers who will turn 18 in a couple years. How do you suggest I introduce them to Alpha 2.0 when they turn 18? They're from a conservative Christian family, and I am not. Again, your odds of success are less than 10%. And give them the pamphlet. You could give them the Unchained Man audiobook. Try that. The Unchained Man audiobook, I make the first chapter very compelling, like, ooh, this is interesting, to try to get them into the book. So you can try that. If you were a woman, if I was a woman and found out your significant was sucking dick, I don't understand what you're saying. Caleb, what do you suggest for a guy that has been called an idiot by a lot of people in his life? How not to let it get under your skin, asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. It's not me. I'm not the idiot. I'm smart. Success is the best revenge. You think I was called a few names when I was a kid? Not much, but I was. I was called a few names when I was a kid. Guess what? Who makes more money than all those people? Who bangs hotter chicks than all of those people? Who won? I did. Success is show them that they're wrong. Don't say, well, fuck you, I'm gonna show them. Use that as motivation. Show them. You want those people to see you in 3, 4, 5 years on Instagram or Facebook or something. You living this amazing life, traveling the world, location dependent income, hot babes, and they go, what the fuck? You want them to do that. Because that's what I've done. There's some people Now, what's funny is here's what happens. If you're nice about it, these people will come back around to you and say, hey, man, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? And they will ask you for advice. I've had people who many years ago called me, they didn't call me stupid. They said, I'm wrong about monogamy. Well, Caleb, you're wrong. And they came back, holy shit. Okay, you're right. So how do you do this? Moving out. When I said I was moving to Dubai just a few years ago, people are, oh, you're crazy. You're what the fuck? And now I got those same people. Like, okay, so if I moved to Dubai or something, how would that work? Show them. Did you re-release your woman course like you did for the Unchained Man? What woman course? I have about 8 of those. What was your recent fantasy that came? Shh. I'll tell you about it later. Give it a few weeks. I live in Dubai. I'm Zambian. Cool, dude. Currently live in the U.S., Massachusetts. I love Latinas. But American black girls do give me any play. Do or don't. Do give me any play. What's turning one group of girls away from me while the other loves me? You can read my blog called Your Target Market. So in your dating life, you have a target market. This is a subsection of women, certain types of women who will really like you and certain types of women who are repulsed by you. So let me give you my example. My target audience, younger women, Asian women, corporate women really love me. If I go on a first date with an Asian girl, she's like leaning forward and just drooling. She can't wait for me to fuck her. I'm not exaggerating because they love me. Big, confident white man with blue eyes. They just think I'm great. And I'm funny and I'm relaxed and I don't care if they have a thick accent. And okay. Younger girls, I've just calibrated my game for this over 25 years, I guess. I come across as paternal but not threatening. I have a whole book on how to date younger women. Okay, that. And then corporate women because I'm a corporate guy, I guess. Now, who doesn't like me? Dominant women. They don't last 10 minutes on a first date with me. They're like, oh, fuck this guy. Black women in the United States, African American, not black women in the world, African women, hello, but black women in the United States, they don't, I've tried. They don't like me. I'm too white. I don't know what it is. They don't like me. Half black women, mixed black, yes. Full black women, man, won't go there. So that's just how it works. So you can figure out what target market likes you and lean into that if you like them. It's very normal. How does the alpha male 2.0 have sex in public work with don't break the law? That's right. So have sex in public where it's not that big of a deal. Look, I didn't go out in public and fuck some chick in public. We were private. Someone stumbled across us. So this specific example was we were in a park, but it was like there's these paths in the forest. It's a lot of trees in Oregon. And it was off the path in the middle of nowhere. And okay, check her. Okay, bend over. Okay. And someone walked by. I'm like, all right. I just waved. How you doing? 43-year-old single dad, INFJ from above, now dating a 26, 28, and 35-year-old. All are cute. Good. Good for you. Excellent. You are a success story. Great, great. I'm getting one-itis for the 35-year-old. Oh, shit. I have to withdraw my compliment now. You're fucking this up. Because she's, quote, different, and she's asking for monogamy, please talk me off the ledge. You promise her monogamy, you will fuck everything good about your life right now. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. And she's not different. How many women are in your city? So let's do the experiment. Here's the experiment. Here's the one-itis experiment I've given many times. All of you should do this. What is the population, greater metro area of the city where you live? 1 million, 2 million, 8. Some of you have 8 million, 10 million. Okay, divide that by 2. Let's say it's 8 million people, Chicago or whatever. Divide by 2, 4 million women. Let's say that 90% of those women are too old, too young, too fat, or too married for you to have sex with. 90%, which is not true. Being nice. Okay? So what is 10% of 4 million? 400,000 women you have within a 1-hour driving radius of your home. And she's the only one. You're being a dumb fuck. So you're going to throw away your happiness because you're being a dumbass. Is there one place that shows all of your books? I have trouble remembering where your books are. Store.calebjones.com, but we are currently updating that. We're updating all my websites. Store.calebjones.com, I'm pretty sure is it. Hi, Caleb. Probably need to go on TRT soon. Can you talk about the potential risks to watch out for heart health, ball shrinkage, etc.? Heart health is fine. Don't need to worry about that. What you need to do is go on HCG and or gonadorelin and or a third one. I forgot a new one. Then your balls won't shrink nearly as much or at all. Just do that. That's what I do. Heart health, you're fine. You need to donate blood about twice a year. You do that. And you need a DRE once a year. It's called digital rectal exam. It's a nice way of saying finger up your ass if you're over the age of 40-ish, which I assume you are. Once a year, once every other year. You do those things, you'll be fine. Can you only niche after the offering or who you are offering to, which is better? Which is better, who you're offering it to. That's better than the offering itself. Ideally, you do both. Thoughts on Napoleon Hill's sexual transmutation to achieve success as you teach the opposite. This is one of the areas I disagree with Napoleon Hill on, because if you read that book very carefully, he doesn't discuss how to do it. He just says, do it. It's helpful. How? How exactly do you take your horniness when you can't stand it, you got to jerk off or fuck someone, and turn that into, I'm going to work and make money? Yeah, he doesn't explain how to do it. So that's one of the areas he was wrong. What about going to Oregon, Washington for those of us who can't leave the U.S.? Why the fuck would you go there? Oregon's one of the highest tax states in the union. Washington's a little less bad. Can't leave the U.S. Go to Washington, be okay because there's no state income tax. Go to somewhere that doesn't have a state income tax. Not Oregon, one of the highest state income tax in the country. I don't remember who stated this, but a MGTOW guy once stated, women use words like spells and men use them as communication tools. That opened up my view of how women communicate. Yeah, women throughout all of human history, women could not use their physicality to dominate men. So what did they use? Their brains, their personalities, and their sex, their womanly power. So they developed these woman powers. I've told women, including women I was married to, well, he won't know. You're a girl. Use your sexual powers. You know, pout a little bit, stick out your lips, and press your boobs together and make your voice a little higher. Well, I don't know. Use your girl. You can get out of a speed ticket. I can't. Use your powers. If I was a girl, man, I'd be using my girl powers all the place. Really? I don't know. I don't know, officer. Dude. Thing about being called an idiot is that it makes one question their abilities. Business and women know what I mean. I don't know what you mean. These people are wrong. Does your IQ test say that you're 85? No. I see some papers back there. Yeah, guess what those papers are for? Those papers right there, those you watch the video, guess those fucking papers are for. That's for all the banking bullshit I was doing on Monday. I had to print out a stack of papers this big. Whew. And it's not necessarily the bank's fault, although it is. It's my Five Flags corporate structures that are complicated. So when you go open a bank account, you say, my name is Joe, I open an account. They go, okay, where do you work? Okay, great, here's your account. When you're like, look, I have a corporate account. I want a corporate account. I own this company, but this company is owned by this company in this other country. They're like, whoa, what? Well, can you got to show proof of this and proof of that and proof of this and proof of that and proof of this. And what? I'm like, fuck, here you go. It's a little complicated for me. I was thinking you should have a live stream on having mobile and paperless office you can set up anywhere. Have you ever seen papers anywhere in any video in the history of me doing videos since 2019? Never. I just printed those on Monday, and I'm using them this week, and then they're going to be gone. That's a rare, you caught me on a rare and usual exception to my rule. I have no paper anywhere in this office. None. I have books. That doesn't count. And the books, frankly, are there for sentimental reasons. Yeah. I realized that I didn't use the credit refund from you when you shut down the UMS. Can I still use the credit toward a course of yours? And was it, you need to email theonlyblackdragon@gmail.com. I can't help you with customer service questions, but the answer is yes. I can't give you more detail than that, though. Thank you, Caleb and Robert Winters. Also, public family restrooms are great for having sex. I've never had sex in a restroom. I don't want to. Too gross. I've been tempted, but I've never done that. But I know a lot of guys are into that, and some girls are into that. Sure. Yeah. Just don't lead hard on the diaper change table. That's funny. Some people live in Washington for no state tax and shop in Oregon for no sales tax. Correct. That's what I did. How are we doing on time? All right, a few more questions and I got to go. I know you don't do day game, but when you're out and about and doing errands, do you ever see a girl and you go chat with her? Today, no, I have more than enough girls. No. You know my scenario. I don't want more girls unless it's an unusual exception because of who she is. So no, I don't. Back, 5 years ago, yeah. Yeah, that would happen. Yes. And I made it work a few times. Yeah. But, when you're in a normal city like Portland, Oregon, how often do you see a smoking? Here's the other problem. Your standards go up as you're with more women, you get older, your standards go up. So how often am I going to see a perfect 10 walking around a 7-Eleven? Not going to happen. So, but yeah, I've done that, but not anytime soon. I don't want more girls. Matter of fact, I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of my girls. I'm working on something very big. It's going to take about 4 or 5 months to fix up. I'll tell you all about it soon. And it involves me reorienting a lot of what I'm doing in my woman life. Something I've never done before. And it involves me involves a lot of things. I'll get to that later. What percentage of women do you get from referral game? For me, it's significant. Let's see. Good question. I mean, of the women, it depends on what do you mean? Like in the last 10 years? You mean right now? So it depends what time frame you're talking about. 20%, at least 20, probably 25. God, it could be a third. It could be 30%. Between 20 and 30%. My main FBs, Dubai and Paraguay, the ones I consider the top of the crib, the main ones, they're both referral game. I never met them on a dating site. You get really high quality women via referral game, even through sugar daddy referral game. The qualities, because they don't go on it. They're not like that. They're just friends of someone who you were hooking up with. So quite a bit. I'm a big fan of it. And works very well internationally. Works very well with Five Flags. All right, a few more questions. I gotta go. Holy shit. In a previous video, you talked about how you used to have a transformer on your desk back in the day. I've got some. They're down here. I got a few of them. Yeah. Which transformer was it? My guess is Galvatron or Megatron. Good for you. I had both. I would alternate. So you know what? You want to show everybody what a fucking nerd I am? Because I'm a nerd from hell. Not as bad as I used to be, but I'm still a big fucking nerd. Those of you who are total nerds, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. If you're not a total nerd, to be like, what is Kalo talking about? That new robot Megatron that transforms by himself and walks around and talks with Frank Welker's voice. They just announced this 3 weeks ago. I'm getting it. It's about $1,000. It transforms into a tank and you talk to him. It's AI. They already have one that's Optimus Prime. Who cares about Optimus Prime? They have one with Grimlock. Grimlock's all right. But now they have Megatron. I'm like, you know what? And I don't make impulse buying. I saw it and went, the inner seventh grader, because I was in seventh grade when I watched that show in 1984. That was a big part of my childhood. The inner kid goes, oh, he talks. And shit, dude. And you can anyway, go watch the videos. They're on YouTube. So anyway, I'm getting it. So what I do is I don't impulse buy. I look at it, I go, that's cool. And I wait to see if I still want it in a week. And if I still want it in a week, I go, yeah, I better get it. So I think you can pre-order it for $800 and they're going to have to ship it. Pink Firefly, one of my FBs, if they're still in the United States, it's not released until September, I think. So I have to order it. It'll come to my address, one of my P.O. boxes in the United States. And then one of my girls will have to ship it to Dubai because I'm not going to be in the United States in September. So I'm getting it. It's like this tall. Fuck, dude. Pretty cool. So you can be a nerd, get laid. It's possible. I'm white and prefer blonde, blue-eyed women, white women, but they're not in my target audience. What can I do to increase my chances with them? The same thing that works for everybody else. It's just your statistical probability will be lower. You do the same stuff. Everything I teach works with all types of women. You do the same stuff. And if you're white and you think blonde, blue-eyed white women don't like you, that might be a limiting belief. That may not be true at all. Have you had sex in the car, missionary position? Yes. And her legs are high, touching the road handle or reverse cowgirl? Yes. And she is grabbing the road handles and dogging the front seat? Any stories? Yes. I've had sex in cars many times, many different ways. Many times, many different ways. Are you kidding? Yes. I can tell you all kinds. I told you one story. Here's the easy, quick one. We were behind a shopping center, and you look around. Okay, coast is clear. No one in the parking lot. This small little park with trees and wall. There's nothing. Okay. This is a true story. This is exactly what happened. It's like a sitcom. As soon as I go inside her, she was a Russian chick. This is a long time ago. Blonde Russian girl in the United States. As soon as I go inside her, right around the corner, a cop pulls over. I'm like, oh, God damn it. So I had to pull out, put my pants on, throw our pants on. He was nice. Like, hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're just hanging out, officer. He knew what was going on. So the first cassette was in my hang on. What the hell? Unhide, Caleb. There we go. The first cassette that I had in my own was a Transformers movie soundtrack. Yeah, man. That was the soundtrack that got me into heavy metal. One of them. That was badass. Love it. Yeah, AI Megatron. You have to look at AI. You just do a search on YouTube for Megatron something. Do like self-transforming Megatron. You'll get it. It's the shit, man. I auction online toys from the 80s and 90s. G1 Transformers are my favorite line of I still have all my Transformers from the 80s. They're in a storage unit in the United States. I have like 100 of them. Yeah. Transformers are my favorite line to collect. Also, I care about Optimus Prime, sir. Have you heard about the backstory of the voice actor? Beautiful. Yes, Peter Cullen's the shit. The problem is that Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, to be fair, they don't sound the same. Optimus Prime, let's see if I can imitate. I haven't drank water. Let's see if I can do this. Here's Optimus Prime from the 80s, the real Optimus Prime. Autobots, transform, roll out. Okay, that's how he sounds. Now, here's how he sounds today. Let's see if I can do this. Once upon a time, there was the Cube. It's a different voice because he's older now. But it's fine. It's fine. No, Peter Cullen's the shit. He was Venger. Peter Cullen, he's a goat. Frank Welker is the goat. Peter Cullen's right below Frank Welker. No offense, I liked Optimus. I like Optimus. I'm just not going to spend $1,000 on a fucking self-transforming Optimus. I have the original Optimus Prime. I got it. I have Ultra Magnus. I have Power Master Optimus Prime from when I was in 1989, the Power Master one. So fuck, dude. Okay, don't worry about it. Just turned 40. How many more years do you think I have in terms of living a player life? I remember you said that 2 to 5 years is enough to experience the player lifestyle. Those are two different questions. How many years you have left to be a player? As many as you want. Into your 60s. I know players in their 70s. Not very many, but I know as long as you want. What I said was most guys out of a long-term monogamous marriage or relationship who are middle-aged go through a phase where they got to get a lot of pussy for a few years, and then they go back to normal. So that's what I was mentioning. And that could be 2 years, 3 years. For me, it was about, well, it's me, so you can't use me as an example. It was a few years. But then it was fine. That's what it's about. Thoughts on the original heavy metal film? Fantastic. Love it to death. I know guys in their 50s who bang chicks 30, 35 years younger. Yeah, that would be me. Yeah, yep. And are flat broke too. That's true, although I'm not broke. What do you think of Peter Schiff? I like Peter Schiff. Met him many times. The problem is he's a broken record, and now he's looking stupid. Every year he says, next year, it's going to collapse next year. Doug Casey's guilty of this too. Next year, it's going to collapse. And they've been saying it for 15 years. That's why I say the United States will collapse in your lifetime, but I don't know when. It could be 3 years from now. It could be 35 years from now. I just know it'll happen while you're alive. So prepare now. I don't say, guys, next year. I don't know. No one knows that. So cool. They have all these G1 Transformers. Dude, I got a lot of G1 Transformers. I got all the Dinobots, all the Stunicons. I got all kind of shit. We can nerd out. I used to have, you're all nerding out now. I used to have Power Master Optimus Prime. I still have it. and high Q on his chest. Dude, I got all the Nebulans. I got the original Galvatron shit. Have you had sex on a cruise ship? I have never been on a cruise ship. I'm probably going to go on a cruise later in the year here in Dubai. There's a really cheap, cruises are really cheap now thanks to the pandemic. Thank you, pandemic. So there's a cruise here in Dubai. It's a week. It's like $600, $500, and you go to Qatar and Bahrain. Perfect. I need to visit those two countries anyway, and you come back around. Can't wait. Holy shit, you sound just like Colin and Prime. Yeah, I know. I can imitate certain people very well. What's your favorite metal band? The original Ozzy Osbourne and Judas Priest. Paraguayan Uruguayans have errors on locations and dates. They do? Okay, I'll fix it. That's interesting. They should have fixed that. Based on your experience, is it better to settle down and have OLTR in your 40s or 50s? Either one. Doesn't matter. That's up to you. Would 50s be too old to start a serious relationship? No, I'm 52. If Pink Firefly died tomorrow, I could go start something when I'm 55 or 60. What is this too old stuff? No, that's a very weird question. Will my quality of women decrease as I get older? No, they will increase until you hit 65. I've said this many times. So your quality will increase. Age is a DHV for men. We are appreciating assets. I can outgame men in their 20s and 30s all day long. I'm in my 50s because I'm in my 50s. A lot of women are today like, I'd rather be with a guy who's 50. So no. When you hit 65, that's when you start, women start going, he's old. He's an old man. When you start looking like an old man, and that's around 65 for most guys. So from now to 65, the women will get better. 65, then there's a drop off. You better make a lot of money, and you're going to have, maybe you'll be settled down by then, and your FBs will be sugar babies. Are you going to wear a stab vest when you go to London? Yeah, no shit. London's fucked. Oh my God. I'm super stoked for Uruguay and Paraguay in July. Will you be hanging out with us much? More than I did last year, yes. I didn't hang out with the guys enough last year. So yes, I will. I didn't hang out. I was going through some emergencies last year, and I couldn't do it. And I kind of shortchanged some of the guys. I made up for it later, but yes, I'm going to do my best. You bet. It's fun to see your nerd out every so often. I could do the next 3 live streams on nerd shit. Dungeons and Dragons, Transformers, 80s movies, Lord of the Rings, Robotech. Bro, the problem is that doesn't make any money, so I don't do it. But I could. You kidding? How to game hot women in the elevator. Day game. The city I'm in is much bigger on night game. It is? Okay. Night game's kind of dying. I've been working on the OD for a while and got some success. Thinking of switching over. Does that make sense? Sure. If night game's a thing where you live, sure. It's fine. And you like it. Dude, you're like one of the coolest dudes I know. I know, I'm really cool. I'm not cool. I mean, you're already cool as fuck from the MSF forums, but this nerd shit has just notched you up to giga tier. Cool, dude. All right. How do you get, all right, I got to go. I'm going to finish up these questions. I got to go. How do you get higher ASD women in their 40s to come to your house? Just more dates. Yeah, they come to your house. Just, you're right. 3rd date, 4th date. You want to get it to your goal is to get the 3rd date over your place. If not, maybe the 4th. Past the 4th, I'll cut them loose. And more women. You guys go a lot more into women. Sorry, that's the way it goes. Yes, please for a funny D&D story sometime in the future. Fellow D&D kid, but early to mid-90s. I could share so many D&D stories. All right, remind me on a future Alpha 2.0 podcast, Nada, Unchained CO1, and I will give you, are you kidding? Bro, I can tell you all kinds of stories. Holy shit. Because we played D&D, we played Star Frontiers, we played Robotech, we played, what else we played? We played James Bond? No. D&D, Robotech, Star Frontiers, and something else. There was a guy, I'm almost tempted to tell it now, but I don't have time. Cool. All right. Last question. Great advice. You're very welcome. Jesus, you guys ask more questions. Okay. All right. Hang on. I mean, like, if I want to date women in their 20s, sure, it would be easier when I was 40 than 50, right? No difference. You'll be fine in your 50s. Incorrect. Have you dated a hot doctor? How was it? I have never dated a female doctor. Nurses, not doctors. Great advice today. You're welcome. Did you ever read the Star Wars comic Shadows of the Empire? Of course I did. And read the book. One thing I'm going to do this. Okay, you want a nerd moment? And I got to go. I am going to do this. And I'll give it away for free because it'll be IP that I can't use. So this is going to be free. I'm going to give this away. I'm going to hire an artist. I'm going to do this. I'm going to write a comic book, 1 issue long, thick comic book called Return of the Jedi, the sensical version. Because Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back are perfect movies. Return of the Jedi, huge drop in quality. As soon as they get off Tatooine, if they've rescued Han Solo, it just goes off a cliff. Another Death Star? Okay, so I'm going to rewrite Return of the Jedi, hire an artist to do it, or maybe I'll use AI, where stay as close to Lucas's vision as I can, but make the story actually make sense. Okay, I'm going to keep all the good parts. So the part with the Emperor and Luke and Vader at the end is perfect. We'll leave that alone. That's perfect. I'm not going to change that. But Ewoks, and they throw like sticks and they blow up his best legion of his best troops. Stupid. So you can tell George Lucas is already running out of ideas. I'm going to fix all that. I'm going to do this. I may not this year. I'm going to do this shit. And it's Star Wars, so I'll give away for free, and that's fine. All right. I have to go. I will see you guys very, very soon. I'll see you next Monday. I will calebjones.com/events. By the time you're listening to this on the podcast, it will be fixed. I will fix that website, or I'm going to fix it ASAP. Cool? Cool. All right. Have fun, guys.